Hello and welcome to my channel Learning Construction Management with Dr. A.R. Nasir. I am Dr. Abdurrahman Nasir and the slogan for my channel is Construction Management Made Easy. In this video, we will learn about fundamentals of contract management for the construction stakeholders. But before we proceed further, I request you all to please subscribe my channel for keeping me motivated to continue making the educational content for learning construction management. So without further ado, let's get started. The topics which we are going to cover in this video are the fundamentals of contract management for the two major construction stakeholders, the construction client and the contractor. Moreover, in addition to these two topics, we will also cover the functions of the contract administrator on a construction project. Let's move on to the first part, the fundamentals of contract management for the construction client. The effective management of a construction contract is a prerequisite for achieving successful project outcomes. The fundamentals of contract management that are relevant to the construction client, or what we say the owner, are to appoint the suitable consultants on the project, to define the project scope. The client is also required to set the key project objectives of cost, time, and quality, what we know as the triple project constraints. Moving further, the client must also assist the consultants in formulating a project brief. The client is also required to select the most appropriate method of project delivery. To ensure accuracy and completeness of tender documentation is also one of the fundamental contract management function for the client. Moving further, the client is also required to award a contract to the contractor on fair and equitable conditions of contract. He is also required to appoint the experienced contract administrator for the execution stage of the project. The client is also required to avoid making changes to the design unless knowing the cost and time impact of such changes. He is also to pay the contractor strictly in accordance with the conditions of contract, and he is also required to monitor progress and the use of contingency. The client is also required to resolve issues as early as possible before they develop into the major problems, which later on turns into the project disputes. The client, on the other hand, is also required to document actual progress in terms of cost, time, and the use of resources to be able to defend against a potential claim coming from the contractor. And lastly, the client is also required to advise the contractor in writing of any deviation from the contract conditions and to request compliance with the same within a specified period. Moving forward to the next part, which is the fundamentals of contract management for the construction contractor. The fundamental aspects of contract management from the contractor's point of view are to execute the project strictly in accordance with the conditions of contract, to award the subcontract on fair and equitable subcontract conditions, to monitor and control progress of subcontractors, to pay the subcontractors on time, to also minimize the overall project time, thus reducing his own site overheads. Moreover, the contractor is also required to balance increased direct costs of additional resources on critical activities which are against the possible savings in the site overheads. The contractor is also required to advise the client early in the project that the program is also required to be arranged for maximizing the use of resources, considering any additional work which is required. The contractor is also need to allow sufficient time to rearrange activities, acquire additional resources, perform additional planning, fabrication, etc. The contractor is also required for his own interest to manage the extensions of time and the request for prolongation costs. The contractor is also required to recommend to the client not to make any changes to the design because it is not in the good interest of the project. The contractor is also required to document the actual progress compared with the program to identify fair areas of progress loss. The contractor is to take immediate actions on the contractor caused problems and immediately advise the client of the other related problems on the construction project. The contractor is required to instruct all the internal staff to carry out work as specified in the contract documents unless written instructions have been given by the client's representative. Moving further to the last part of this video, which is the functions of the contract administrator on a construction project. So, these are the functions which the contract administrator is required to perform. The first is the change management. Yes, change is inevitable and contract administrator has to deal with the change management. The second is the specifications interpretation. The third is the adherence to quality, because the project has to achieve this very objective in addition to the cost and time. The contract administrator is also required to deal with the warranties and the subcontractor management. Then is also required to perform the production surveillance in addition to dealing with the waivers and the contract breaches. Moving forward, the resolution of disputes is one of the key contract administration function in a construction project. Project termination, payment schedule, and the project closeout are also the other key areas which are required to be functioned by the contract administrator on a construction project. That's it. Hope you have liked the video. If yes, then please click the like button. If you have any query regarding the topic, please leave your comment and I will be more than happy to answer you directly. For more learning videos, do subscribe my channel Learning Construction Management with Dr. A.R. Nasir, because we believe construction management is made easy. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Take care and goodbye.